So let's get this celebration started. I've got my martini. Maybe you've got a Coke, a soda, a Manhattan, or beer, or just water. Let's kick this thing off. So the first award tonight is going to be an amazing group of young professionals, what we call the NASPA Now Professionals. So take a look at what they've accomplished this year.
NASPA's Now Professional Recognition recognizes the exceptional contributions for new professionals and graduate students within NASPA. Launched in 2017 in partnership between the New Professionals and Graduate Students Knowledge Community and the NASPA Central Office, the NASPA Now Professionals Recognition recognizes the impact that new professionals and graduate students have upon the student affairs profession. Each year, 25 participants will be selected as winners in categories aligned with NASPA's guiding principles of integrity, inclusion, innovation, and inquiry, as well as a fifth category of impact. NASPA Now recipients in the impact category support the mission and strategic plan of NASPA through service to the organization on a campus, regional, or national level. Through their commitment to NASPA, this year's recipients have made significant impacts on the field of student affairs and higher education. Award recipients in the inclusion category seek ways to ensure access, voice, acknowledgement, opportunity, and participation at all levels of student affairs and higher education. Through their work, the 2020 inclusion recipients have created spaces championing underrepresented communities. Individuals recognized in the innovation category continuously seek improvement through new and creative approaches. These leaders embrace change, infuse their work with creativity, and create new ways to engage campus communities. Inquiry category recipients support research and scholarships, adding to the knowledge base of the profession and ensuring that data informs practice on campus. This 2020 Inquiry category recipients demonstrate a spirit of curiosity that then leads to better, more engaging programs for students. Recipients in the Integrity category have exhibited their commitment to high moral principles, exhibiting authentic, honest, just, and ethical behavior. These individuals have set examples of dedication and leadership to their campus communities and the field. Join us in celebrating and welcoming the 2020 NASPA Now Professionals. NASPA is proud to recognize these rising stars in the NASPA community. Thank you for providing excellent leadership to the field of student affairs and higher education. Daniel Bowling, Vanderbilt University. Patrick Bussier, University of Northern Colorado. Teresa Riles, the University of Kansas. Topeka Shaw KC, University of Utah. Johnny Campbell, Iowa State University. Jo Marie Coloriano, Gateway Technical College. Mike Daniels, Kent State University. Megan Downey, University of Michigan. Diana Steen, Emmanuel College, Boston. Jessica Girdler, Kansas State University. Carol Huan, University of California, Santa Barbara. Wade Menorah Jr., University of North Georgia. Sundas Shahid, Loyola University, Chicago. Chelsea Whitaker, The Ohio State University. Laura Zattarelli, Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. Swade Graham, Pace University, Pleasantville. Alexander Martins, Eastern Illinois University. Sam Palmucci, Old Dominion University. Thomas Patterson, University of Arkansas, Fayetteville. Jackie Rogers, College of Southern Maryland. M.K. Tyler, University of Memphis. Tori Della Fiora, Florida State University. Weisheng Ariel Tan, California State University, Long Beach. Chun Hung, Tony Chen, Rhode Island School of Design. Aisha Lee, Kansas State University.
Wow, that's one talented group of young professionals. I can't wait to see what they accomplish in their career going forward. So our next award is in recognition of Robert H. Shaffer. Established in 1986, the Shaffer Award for Academic Excellence as a Graduate Faculty Member was named for the Dean and Professor Emeritus of Indiana University, Robert H. Shaffer. It's presented annually to a tenured full-time faculty member in a graduate preparation program in student affairs. Each Shaffer Award recipient has inspired graduate students and served on doctoral dissertations, and has a distinguished record of scholarly achievement, including publication in relevant literature, and has made significant contributions to professional associations. Let's hear more about this year's Shaffer Award winner, Tony Cawthon.
Tony Cawthon has dedicated his life to student affairs, first as a practitioner and later as a faculty member, mentor, and scholar. In his role at Clemson University, Dr. Cawthon works tirelessly to prepare the educators of the future and to equip tomorrow's student affairs leaders with the knowledge and best practices needed to face the challenges and opportunities of higher education. As an advisor to countless graduate students throughout his career, Dr. Cawthon has embodied an impactful balance of challenge and support with his personal brand of mentorship. He demonstrates a deep commitment to developing the field's next generation by not only engaging meaningfully with each and every student in his program, but also by cultivating the kind of lasting connections that support his students well beyond graduation and into their professional lives. Dr. Cawthon is known for being a lifelong learner, constantly incorporating new literature into his courses to reflect emerging scholarship in student affairs, and grappling with new challenges alongside his students. Dr. Cawthon is also an active contributor to the scholarship that moves the profession forward, with a distinguished record that includes more than 100 publications. Dr. Cawthon's dedication to advancing the knowledge of the field is reflected in his willingness to support the development of other scholars through co-authoring, editing, and co-presenting. In this way, his scholarly contributions also reflect a remarkable ability to develop collaborative relationships and his role as a trusted mentor to a distinguished group of higher ed thought leaders. Former Clemson student Heather Schneller sums up what Dr. Cawthon means to his students, colleagues, and community. The North Star metaphor is a perfect way to describe Tony's influence. He is the steadfast point at Clemson University and serves as a beacon for those needing direction. His mentorship is steady and reassuring, providing the right support when needed. His influence reverberates through former students and those that served alongside him in leadership roles with professional organizations. Please join us in congratulating Dr. Tony Cawthon, 2020 winner of the Robert H. Shaffer Award for Academic Excellence as a graduate faculty member.
Hello, my name is Tony Cawthon, and I'm so honored to be receiving this year's Robert H. Shaffer Award from NASPA. I'm honored and humbled to receive this award, and actually I hate that we're not in person getting this award, but maybe this is better for me because maybe I won't cry like I normally do at sentimental kinds of things. I'm honored and proud to receive this award. So many great people have won this award in the past, people that I don't even put myself in the same company with, and there's so many other deserving people. A special thanks to NASPA for this award, and a special thanks to my nominators, who I know were former students. So much for not crying. I'm grateful to you and grateful to this honor, and that you took a time to nominate me for this. I've been very fortunate to work at 3 different schools, and all of those schools I've learned a lot. I learned a lot from my colleagues and my students. So this award goes to my students. Thank you for letting me be on this journey with you. Thank you for letting me be a part of your lives, and thank you for making my life special. Being a college faculty member is the greatest job I've ever had, and probably the greatest job I ever will have. I'm honored and very much grateful. Thank you again.
Congratulations, Tony, for a well-deserved award. Our next award is named after one of our legends in student affairs and higher education, the George D. Koo Award for Outstanding Contribution to Literature and Research. It was named in 2011 for the Chancellor's Professor Emeritus at Indiana University and Director of the National Institute for Learning Outcomes Assessment, George Koo. The Koo Award is given to an individual who has demonstrated a lifetime commitment to research and scholarship related to higher education. From a dynamic pool of nominees this year, 2 careers stood out as such undeniable examples of great achievement in this role that the NASPA Board of Directors determined 2 honorees would be awarded for their service this year. Please join me in celebrating George McClellan and Lori Patton Davis, recipients of the Koo Outstanding Contribution to Literature Award.
George McClellan has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to student affairs research and scholarship throughout his distinguished career. A quintessential scholar practitioner, Dr. McClellan has made exceptional contributions to the field through his scholarly work, characterized by a keen focus on practical applications for student affairs professionals. Dr. McClellan's work frequently addresses previously unexplored or underexplored areas of student affairs practice and higher education, often raising new issues in accessible ways. His research topics include college student gambling, creating safer campus communities, campus employment, First Amendment clashes with diversity and inclusion, esports, and holistic support for Indigenous student populations. Dr. McClellan's support for Indigenous scholars and students is a core tenet of his work, not only within his own scholarship, but as an advocate in raising up the work of others around this underserved population. He has called upon the field to understand and value the needs and experiences of Indigenous, identifying students in higher education, driving the growth of scholarship in this area, and has been a key supporter of the NASPA Indigenous Peoples Knowledge Community from its inception. Dr. McClellan continues to make a positive impact on the next generation of educators as a full-time faculty member at the University of Mississippi, and also serves as a support for other scholars on their pathway to publishing, providing encouragement and mentorship to emerging thought leaders in higher education. His inclusive and generous style inspires successful partnerships, and the wide array of collaborators with which he has engaged elevates his work with a diversity of perspectives. Dr. McClellan's influence is exemplified in the integration of his scholarship into the curricula of many graduate preparation programs. As the co-editor on multiple editions of the Handbook of Student Affairs Administration, he's demonstrated multi-decade commitment to this foundational text, which has shaped the learning and development of innumerable cohorts of future practitioners and leaders. Additionally, Dr. McClellan has served as an editorial board member for the Journal of College and Character and the Journal of College Student Development. In his many roles as an editor, collaborator, mentor, and teacher, Dr. McClellan has brought attention to important issues in higher education, with implications for practice, policy, and future scholarship. His contributions to the knowledge base of the student affairs profession as a thoughtful social justice advocate and premier scholar will continue to serve the betterment of our field long into the future. Please join me in honoring Dr. George McClellan, 2020 recipient of the George D. Koo Outstanding Contribution to Literature and Research Award.
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry we couldn't get together in Austin, but I'm glad we're together here this evening. I'd like to begin by thanking the nominators, the awards committee, NASPA and the NASPA Foundation for recognizing me with this award. I'm particularly delighted to be receiving it alongside Lori Patton Davis, whose work I greatly admire and appreciate. In the list of thank yous, and there are many, I'd like to begin by thanking the publishers. They don't get enough credit, and it's a difficult role in the business. I want to thank them for the times they've said no and for the times that they've said yes. I'm also really grateful to the many co-editors, collaborators, co-writers, thought shapers who've helped bring this work into the field. Whatever I've been able to present wouldn't have been nearly as good without all of us working together. And so thank you so much for your many, many contributions to the various publications. I also want to recognize that, like all of us, I get here on the shoulders of others. I'm particularly thankful to the tremendous number of mentors and advisors and consultants that I've had throughout my career. In particular, I want to recognize the work of Peggy Barr. Those of you who know me know not much of anything of value that I've been able to contribute. It wouldn't be very hard to trace it right back to Peggy and her influence, and I miss her every single day. Last but not least, I want to thank the students because they're the center of everything. They're the reason that I've been writing all this time and working with others to bring things forward, hoping that what we do together makes a difference in helping students in the pursuit of their dreams through higher education. Lastly, I'd like to say this. I am personally tremendously grateful and humbled and honored by this recognition. I really am. But I hope more than anything that it's a recognition of the role and the importance of the scholarship of practice. I don't do a lot of theory work or pure research work. I do the scholarship of practice. I take the theories and research that others have shared and try to bring them into what would it look like every day on the ground, trying to help students, trying to help higher education. I like to think of myself as somebody who grabs the snow globe and shakes it up and, okay, what would it look like if we did that? I really hope that it encourages other folks to get involved in writing and publishing, particularly newer professionals and mid-career professionals. We very much need your voices now more than ever. So with that, I want to say thank you. I'm going to keep on writing. I'll be down here in Oxford at the University of Mississippi. Y'all come see us now. You hear? Thank you.
Lori Patton Davis is one of the nation's leading scholars on race, gender, and educational equity. Her work challenges higher education to acknowledge, examine, and deconstruct the systems of oppression that are embedded within our structures and institutions. Dr. Patton Davis's tangible contributions in moving the conversation forward on equity and inclusive practice have made a lasting impact and established her as one of the field's most influential researchers. Grounded in critical race theory, Black feminist thought, and intersectionality, Dr. Patton Davis's scholarship focuses on student development, theory, and practice, intersections of race, gender, and sexual identities among college students, African American educational experiences with particular emphasis on Black women and girls, and campus culture centers. Her research is interdisciplinary and ever-evolving, drawing from history, Black studies, women's and gender studies, and sociology perspectives to advance an understanding of intersectional oppression and racial inequities, with critical implications for national issues and policies in higher education. Dr. Patton Davis has an exceptional body of scholarly publications, having been cited over 7,000 times, and has influenced countless higher education leaders through her research and its impact on practice. Through her contributions to NASPA and other professional associations, she is engaging the field with fresh critical perspectives and new frames by which to interrogate our work. Education Week named her among the top 200 educators in the country, and Diverse Issues in Higher Education honored her as one of the top 35 women influencing higher education. Dr. Patton Davis currently serves as chair for the Department of Educational Studies and professor of higher education and student affairs at The Ohio State University. She is a past president of the Association for Study of Higher Education and the first African American woman to be elected to this position. She is the lead author of Student Development in College, the most widely adopted publication by student affairs graduate programs across the country. In addition to her scholarship being widely referenced throughout higher education, Dr. Patton Davis's work has been featured in the Chronicle of Higher Education, Diverse Issues in Higher Education, and NPR. She has been called upon to advise university presidents and philanthropic organizations in addition to her transformational support of student affairs divisions. Dr. Patton Davis has served on 8 editorial boards for journals, including the NASPA Journal of Student Affairs Research and Practice. A former recipient of the NASPA Robert H. Shaffer Award for Academic Excellence as a graduate faculty member, the cornerstone of Dr. Patton Davis's career has been her influence on and mentorship of emerging scholars. By inspiring and challenging graduate students with her knowledge, she ignites passion among tomorrow's leaders of the profession who are invested in work that emphasizes social justice and elevates the needs of underserved and the minoritized groups. With her support and guidance, the next generation of researchers are being nurtured and developed. Scholars that will carry her legacy and the work of our field into its brightest future. Please join me in celebrating Dr. Lori Patton Davis, 2020 George D. Koo Outstanding Contribution to Literature and Research Award winner.
Hello, NASPA family. I'm so honored to be recognized with the George D. Koo Outstanding Contribution to Literature and Research Award. I wish we were able to celebrate together, but remain grateful to NASPA for creating a platform to recognize me and other award recipients. This award is meaningful to me for so many reasons. As a proud alumna of the Indiana University Higher Education Program, Dr. Koo spent a great deal of his career there, and I feel lucky to have had interactions with him, namely when he encouraged me to apply to the program in the first place. This award is also special because throughout my career as a practitioner and later as a faculty member, NASPA continues to be a space where I feel seen and valued for my contributions. Most importantly, I feel significant gratitude for receiving this honor for scholarly engagement that has centered Black women in higher education, that has contributed to how we critically engage with student development theory, that illuminates how critical race theory and other theoretical frameworks and paradigms shape student affairs practice. And it's highlighted how Black culture centers and other diversity-related initiatives make the difference for racially minoritized students who have not yet fully recognized or realized full equality in higher education. Thank you to my academic ride or die, Dr. Sean Harper, for nominating me and for consistently supporting me. We've been on this journey a long time since our years at IU, and I deeply cherish our friendship. Thank you to Natasha Kroom, Ebony Zamani Gallagher, Frank Tuitt, Estella Ben-Simone, Jessica Harris, for not only writing letters of support for this award, but also for being excellent colleagues, friends, mentors, mentees, and family to me. It's important to also mention that there is no way I would be able to make scholarly contributions and maintain faculty and administrative roles without the support of my partner, Tobias Davis, and my children, Parker and Preston Davis. Lastly, thank you to NASPA for fostering a space where I could be cultivated as a scholar and leader in our field. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Congratulations, George and Lori. What an outstanding career both of you have had and will continue to have. I look forward to more outstanding research from both of you. By the way, before we get started with the next award, you might notice that I've got my NASPA tie on in celebration of this special evening. So this next award is named in honor of someone who, for me, is one of my favorite people in NASPA, and that's Doris Ching. The Doris Ching Award for Excellence as a Student Affairs Professional. Named after former Vice President for Student Affairs at the University of Hawaii, and the first woman of color and first Asian Pacific Islander to be elected chair of the NASPA Board of Directors, 1999 to 2000. And chair of the NASPA Foundation Board from 2002 to 2004. The Doris Ching Award for Excellence as a Student Affairs Professional honors a student affairs professional at the mid-level, senior level, or APP level, whose outstanding commitment to the profession includes development of programs that address the needs of students, creation of a campus environment that promotes student learning and development, and support of and active engagement in NASPA. Let's learn more about this year's extraordinary nominee, Matt Jeffries.
Matthew Jeffries embodies selfless dedication in his unwavering commitment to students, elevating their voices, hearing their needs, and developing programs that are student-centric from development to execution. This approach has resulted in resounding success in his role as the director of Washington State University's Gender Identity, Expression, and Sexual Orientation Resource Center. At WSU, Dr. Jeffries has worked to launch programs that are not only the first of their kind at his institution, such as the inaugural Gender Affirming Healthcare Symposium, His work is exemplifying inclusive practice for the entire field. Dr. Jeffries also serves the evolution of the profession and promotes the creation of community in student affairs, having organized the first gathering of practitioners serving the LGBTQ+ community across the state of Washington. Dr. Jeffries' intersectional approach to immigration, race, gender, and policy is also evident in his work with NASPA. Having served with both enthusiasm and commitment in multiple volunteer roles with the multiracial knowledge community, the gender and sexuality knowledge community, and the planning committee for the Multicultural Institute, among many others. By leveraging a combination of knowledge and passion, Dr. Jeffries pushes his NASPA colleagues to strive for more inclusive and intentional practice, and his encouragement has inspired new initiatives at institutions across the country. Dr. Jeffries is well known in his NASPA community as a mentor and friend in advancing social justice, dedicated to balancing his own role with his commitment to tangibly supporting his colleagues in moving their institutions towards greater inclusion. In both NASPA roles and at WSU, Dr. Jeffries brings an understanding of the institution-wide perspective while also considering the individual and centering students above all else. He possesses the rare ability to combine visionary thinking with strategic execution, allowing even the most creative and aspirational ideas to be realized. Abby Chen, director of the Diversity and Equity Center at Central Washington University, says of Dr. Jeffries, "I have never worked with anyone more reliable, committed, and creative than Matthew. He lives what it means to dismantle oppressive systems, synthesizes difficult conversations, and thoughtfully navigates political considerations and moves our institutions towards justice and equity." Please join us in honoring Dr. Matthew Jeffries, 2020 winner of the Doris Michiko Ching Award for Excellence as a Student Affairs Professional.
Congratulations, Matthew. Well deserved. I'm sure Doris is thrilled to have you as this year's award winner. So this next award is also one of my favorites because it is what we call the AVP award, or recognizing an assistant vice president or associate vice president or senior leader in student affairs. It's one of my favorites because I myself served as an AVP back before I started at NASPA, so I'm very fond of this particular recognition. This award honors a student affairs professional at the AVP or senior level whose outstanding commitment to the profession includes development of a program that addresses the needs of students, creation of a campus environment that promotes student learning and development, and support and active engagement in NASPA. Let us celebrate this year's extraordinary winner, Clint-Michael Reneau.
At the heart of Clint-Michael Reneau's practice, as the Associate Vice President for Student Affairs at California State University Fullerton, is an unwavering commitment to removing barriers to success for all students, particularly those populations facing the largest obstacles. Dr. Reneau's impact is characterized by a special focus on students who are low income, first generation, non-traditional, or otherwise undersupported in their pursuits of higher education. He has worked tirelessly at CSU Fullerton to promote and improve educational opportunities and outcomes through partnerships and collaborations, gathering and activating changemakers from across the institution to dismantle barriers and empower all students to achieve their potential, regardless of background or circumstances. Dr. Reneau's enthusiasm for collaboration contributes to his successful leadership of multiple departments, working with cross-divisional teams to provide holistic and innovative student support. Colleagues remark that he has an instinct for making things happen. His ability to lead a future-focused team while strategically managing a broad portfolio of programs, enhancing the reach of student support services while keeping a keen eye on how those services can evolve and advance. Dr. Reneau is known for creating community among the faculty and staff at CSU Fullerton, and remarkably so, is broadly heralded for his talent at fostering a similar sense of belonging among CSU Fullerton students. At the most populated university in the largest system in the country, Dr. Reneau strives daily to ensure that all students feel seen and heard and know that they matter. No easy feat on a campus with over 40,000 of them. CSU Fullerton President Fram Rose M. Vergie characterizes Dr. Reneau as down-to-earth, warm, and genuinely caring. Whether working with a small group of student leaders in a time of crisis or inspiring a crowd of hundreds at a cultural celebration, his passion for and commitment to our students is real, palpable, and transformative. Dr. Reneau focuses his passion and commitment for supporting underserved student populations into real results that have positively transformed the higher education experience at CSU Fullerton. His work has touched the lives and empowered the journeys of thousands of students and continues on a daily basis to live his values through his work. Please join us in honoring Dr. Clint-Michael Reneau, 2020 winner of the AVP Senior Level Student Affairs Professional Award.
Well, you can see what I've been doing over the quarantine, trying to learn how to play the guitar. I think I'm up to about 3 chords. So this next award is recognized for Scott Goodnight, and it's the Outstanding Contribution and Performance as a Dean. This is named after Scott Goodnight, who served as the first board of directors for NASPA in 1919-1920, and also was the Dean of Men at the University of Wisconsin. This award is for someone who has demonstrated professional achievement in student affairs work, innovative response in meeting students' varied and emergent needs, effectiveness in developing staff, and leadership in community and college and university affairs. The award recipient must also have earned stature among and support of students, faculty, and fellow administrators on campus. This person also should have made significant contributions to the field through publications or involvement in professional associations. Tonight we have 2 awardees. So let's start with the first awardee, Karen Pennington.
Karen Pennington is highly regarded within the profession as a leader, teacher, mentor, and exceptional colleague. Her distinguished and multifaceted career is characterized as much by her significant accomplishments as it is by the humility with which she attributes her great success to the team around her. This focus on raising up others is a hallmark of Dr. Pennington's leadership at Montclair State University, where she has served as Vice President for Student Development and Campus Life for over 20 years. Under Dr. Pennington's thoughtful leadership, Montclair State has doubled its student body and adapted to meet the needs of today's students. During this time of significant transformation, Dr. Pennington played an instrumental role in guiding enrollment strategies, forming partnerships to support new residence halls and other campus facilities, and developing new programs to serve the expanding student population. While this evolution resulted in much external recognition from Montclair State, more important to Dr. Pennington were the benefits yielded for students, as their success has always been paramount in her work. Dr. Pennington is a vibrant presence on campus, always available to help a student in need, approaching difficult situations with patience and compassion. And her positive impact has been felt by tens of thousands of students that have been developed and supported on her campus. She is known for creating intentional spaces for students and staff to engage in critical dialogue, and is always open to student feedback, often implementing shared ideas for new programs and services. Dr. Pennington is a highly respected expert in the field, having presented all over the world, including in Ethiopia, South Africa, and Hungary. Her dedicated engagement with NASPA, Dr. Pennington has served as the chair of the NASPA Board of Directors, the chair of the NASPA Foundation Board of Directors, and the co-chair of the 100th Anniversary Planning Committee, to name just a few of her many volunteer roles. Montclair State colleague Jeffrey Gant sums up what it's like to work with Dr. Pennington. Her division is the one that says yes. The people that work for her know intuitively and instinctively that our job is to do the impossible and to be excited by the challenge, because we've seen her do it on a regular basis. Known for cultivating an environment that empowers her staff to strive for their best professional practice, in her own work, Dr. Pennington serves as a beacon to other student affairs professionals for what it means to lead through service. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Karen Pennington, 2020 recipient of the Scott Goodnight Award for Outstanding Performance as a Dean.
Good evening, NASPA colleagues. I'm sorry that we weren't able to be together in Austin, but I'm happy to be here today to thank you very much for the privilege of getting the Scott Goodnight Award this year. I want to thank the NASPA board for their consideration of my candidacy. I'm also honored to be sharing this award with Patricia Telles-Irvin. For those of you who knew Patricia, you knew that there is no one who was nicer, sweeter, kinder, smarter, or classier than she. I know you all extend your sympathies, as I do, to Patricia's family and friends. The Scott Goodnight Award means a lot to me as it comes at the sunset of my career. I've had the privilege over the past 40 years to work in institutions where I have been able to share the joy of working with students, of providing opportunities for their growth and development. I'm particularly grateful for those colleagues at Montclair State who nominated me for this award. Dr. Allison Straker-Banks, Mr. Jeffrey Gant, and most especially my president, Dr. Susan Cole, who for the past 22 years has provided me a place where I can call home, a place where I could rise to the occasion whatever came our way, a place where I could provide students an opportunity to learn and to grow and develop. I would also like to say thank you to all of my NASPA friends and colleagues, to the NASPA staff, to those I've had the pleasure to work with at the other institutions that I've called home over my career. Without all of you, I wouldn't be able to be here today, and I would not have been able to do the work that I have done for students. Although we weren't able to be together in Austin, I do look forward to seeing all of you next year in Kansas City. Thank you again for listening.
It is said that the stars that emit the most light, those that shine the brightest, most alter the universe in spite of their journeys being shorter than other stars. The Northwestern University community, the NASPA family, and the field of higher education lost one of our brightest beacons this past June. The legacy of Dr. Patricia Telles-Irvin will continue to serve as a guiding example of how profound impact can be made by an individual committed to improving the lives of others. Following in the footsteps of her beloved father, Ambassador Raymond Telles, who dedicated his life to public service, social justice, and education, Patricia's steadfast commitment to students and their experiences shone throughout her distinguished career. Dr. Patricia Telles-Irvin, or PTI, as she was known to students and colleagues alike, was a champion for the inclusion and empowerment of low-income, first-generation, and marginalized students long before the field of higher education began to focus attention on the strengths and needs of these populations. Patricia believed at her core that education transformed lives. She understood that the change that begins with a single life can reverberate through endless future generations. As a result, she was unyielding in her support of all students, particularly those from historically marginalized backgrounds. She devoted her life to this work, serving as Vice President for Student Affairs at 3 different institutions: Florida International University, the University of Florida, and finally, Northwestern University. Additionally, she served as the president of NASPA, now called the NASPA Board Chair, in 2011. Whether it was bringing people together through the creation of a strategic plan, transforming the residential experience through the Housing Master Plan, championing a safe and engaging space through the Black House renovation, or uniting the campus together through the University Commons Project, known as her Beacon on the Lake, Patricia was devoted to realizing her vision for a vibrant, thriving, and inclusive campus community. Patricia was more than just a summary of her accomplishments. She simply inspired others around her to be better professionals by balancing high expectations with unconditional support. Patricia was devoted to developing people and deeply invested in the transformational power of mentorship. By living her values and her commitment to students and staff through all that she did, Patricia led by exemplifying servant leadership. Her unwavering commitment to always doing what is right, despite political or public pressure, stands out as an inspiration to us all, and her courage to keep moving forward will always be a defining characteristic of her legacy. Patricia didn't see what might be, then hoped for the best. She saw what should be and brought people together to realize that vision. Fueled by a spirited passion, PTI exhibited poise and thoughtfulness in every situation and interaction. In spite of professional and personal challenges, she was invested in a vision steeped in justice, engagement, and excellence for the students and the entire university. Throughout Patricia's notably fought battle with cancer, her communities witnessed her navigate her health, her role, and her life with fortitude and grace. As we continue the work without her, we look to her legacy to inspire courage, compassion, and resiliency. Every life Patricia touched will carry her beloved memory with them and walk in the footsteps she left behind towards a brighter future for all students. Please join me in honoring the late Dr. Patricia Telles-Irvin, 2020 recipient of the Scott Goodnight Award for Outstanding Performance as a Dean, and the 2020 John L. Blackburn Distinguished Pillar of the Profession.
I am so honored to accept these awards on behalf of Patricia, Dawn, and her family. Anyone who knew Patricia fully knew that she was gracious, brilliant, kind, a barrier breaker. She was visionary, the moral conscious of every team on which she served. She was frequent with her feedback, which when reflected upon was always a gift and never cruel. She loved our students, and she loved her NASPA and Student Affairs families. Patricia was my colleague, mentor, supervisor, at times supportive coach, and at other times the eyebrow-raising challenger. But always, she was my friend. She was the ultimate student affairs champion and professional, and her advocacy for our students' well-being was second to none, especially on behalf of our most vulnerable students. We have all learned from her extraordinary example. But the person who knew her best was Don Irvin, her longtime husband and lifelong partner, and he shared with me some words about Patricia, words that he would have shared in person had we been able to gather together in Austin. I'd like to share those with you now. Dear NASPA members, it is my great honor to accept in Patricia's name the Distinguished Pillar of the Profession and Scott Goodnight Awards. She would be grateful, humbled, and somewhat shocked to be accepting both in one year. Patricia loved NASPA. She was a member for most of her career and served as the last elected president before the structure changed in 2012. Many still believe her national conference in Phoenix in 2011 to this day as a standard for success. I still have a photograph of us standing with John Legend on my desk. I miss her every day and know that many others feel the same way. She had a way of gently making those around her somehow better without force or judgment. Her strength and integrity were legendary. She loved her students and all that a good education represented. Her resolve was so strong that she worked to within a week of her passing. Many of you were touched by my incredible wife, and now it is important to continue her legacy. Her singular torch may have left the world, but her light will carry on for many generations to come. Thank you again for remembering her, honoring her contributions, and forever making her an integral part of the heart of NASPA. So on behalf of Dawn and the many colleagues, friends, and students whose lives were touched by Patricia, thank you, NASPA, for these honors. And most importantly, thank you to Patricia for her care, her dedication, her love, and her legacy. We will continue your work, and we will miss you every day.
On a personal note, Patricia was very special to me, particularly in my role as president. She was the chair of the board of directors when I was hired as NASPA president over 8 years ago. I still remember her sitting across and negotiating with me about becoming the NASPA president, and that memory will always stay with me. We will miss Patricia and her incredible contributions to the field. So Patricia was one of our Blackburn winners, but let me say more about the Blackburn Award. The John Blackburn Distinguished Pillar of the Profession each year honors two Distinguished Pillars of the Profession, a designation that marks the legacy of a career-spanning impact on the student affairs profession. Named after the NASPA Foundation's founding member, this award honors those who continue to elevate and serve the profession in powerful ways. Dr. Blackburn dedicated his career to the University of Alabama and was passionate about creating effective innovations within higher education. Let's learn more about this other award winner for the Blackburn Pillar, Michael L. Jackson.
With a career spanning over 45 years, Michael L. Jackson truly embodies what it means to be a pillar of the student affairs profession. Dr. Jackson has made incredible contributions to higher education by creating pathways for emerging leaders through his mentorship and access for underrepresented populations by living the values of diversity and inclusion throughout his practice. Dr. Jackson's distinguished career is possibly best characterized by his dedication to advocacy for students and professionals alike. While at the University of Southern California, he oversaw the construction of the new campus center and the new student health center, and under his leadership, programs and services were established to support the LGBTQ+ and veteran students. Student organization numbers rose from 350 to over 600 with Dr. Jackson's support, and a university-wide arts and cultural initiative flourished from the development to success. Dr. Jackson also served as the investigator for large grants, supporting first-generation students and transfer students, resourcing pipeline programs and mentorship for students from underrepresented populations to support their degree pursuits. Beyond his own institution, Dr. Jackson has had a positive impact on the development of the profession. Following in the footsteps of student affairs legends like mentor Jim Lyons, Dr. Jackson has dedicated himself to nurturing generations of student affairs leaders, many going on to exceptional success in their senior student affairs roles. Through his research, Dr. Jackson has also contributed to the Field Scholarship, having authored numerous articles in support of critical trends and issues with higher education. Dr. Jackson also serves the community beyond his campus, creating inclusive environments through the USC Good Neighbors program, supporting children from his hometown on the pathway to college, and the Boys and Girls Clubs of Monterey County. Through his dedication to enriching the higher education experience for all students and supporting and developing the professionals that will carry the field's value into the future, Dr. Jackson has secured his legacy as a shining example for all of us. Please join us in celebrating Dr. Michael L. Jackson, 2020 John L. Blackburn Distinguished Pillar of the Profession.
Congratulations, Michael. Well deserved. I think we all wish we were sitting on the same scene you had out there in the middle of Hawaii as we weather the last of this winter. So let's get on to the next award, the Pillars of the Profession. The distinguished pillars which we just recognized are sort of kept in great company by the class of pillars that we are honoring this year. Pillars of the profession have created a lasting impact on an institution or organization, leaving a legacy of extraordinary service. The NASPA Foundation is pleased to honor 18 extraordinary individuals in this year's class. Enjoy this overview of the NASPA Foundation's Pillars of the Profession.
A pillar is defined as something that provides essential support for something or someone. In 1999, the NASPA Foundation wanted to recognize individuals in the field who did just that and decided to honor the first class of the Pillars of the Profession. 21 professionals who provided strong support to their campuses, students, peers, and community were featured at the NASPA annual conference that year. Today, over 100 pillars have been honored, and the Pillars of the Profession serves as one of the Foundation's highest and most recognizable annual awards. The Pillars of the Profession Award is designed to honor individuals of professional distinction who have served in leadership roles within both the field of higher education and NASPA, and also have been recognized among their peers, students, and co-workers for their extraordinary service. Each individual is nominated and supported for designation as a pillar by colleagues, students, family, friends, and others. Gifts are made in honor of the award recipients, with the accumulative total one of the top fundraising opportunities for the NASPA Foundation. These donations provide scholarships for graduate students and new professionals and help promote innovation in the field through research grants. In 2012, the Foundation established the John L. Blackburn Distinguished Pillar of the Profession, which honors up to 2 previous pillars of the profession with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Honoring Dr. Blackburn, who pioneered the NASPA Foundation, this distinction honors pillars who continue to enrich the higher education experience for all students and professionals. This is regarded as one of NASPA's and the NASPA Foundation's highest honors, and is bestowed on only the most talented and dedicated professionals within student affairs and higher education. Join us in celebrating and welcoming 18 new pillars of the profession for 2020. The Foundation is proud to recognize these outstanding individuals who continue to grow and strengthen higher education and student affairs. Thank you for continuing to enrich our community. Angela E. Batista, Vice President of Student Affairs and Institutional Diversity and Inclusion, Champlain College. Paul R. Benyon, Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students, the College of Idaho. Michael D. Coombs, Emeritus Associate Professor of Higher Education and Student Affairs, Bowling Green State University. Jacob L. Diaz, Regional Assistant Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs and Student Success, Dean of Students, University of South Florida, St. Petersburg. Pauline M. Dabrowski, Vice President for Student Affairs, Stonehill College. Brandy Hefner LeBon, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs and Campus Life, University of Massachusetts, Amherst. Catherine T. Hutchinson, Vice President for Student Affairs, St. John's University. Jan Manaru Havanar, Specialist Faculty Assistant to the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, University of Hawaii, West Oahu. Maureen Keefe, Vice President of Student Development, Massachusetts College of Art and Design. John Wesley Lowry, Professor and Department Chair, Sahi, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Daniel M. Maxwell, Associate Vice Chancellor, Associate Vice President for Student Affairs, University of Houston. Salvador B. Mena, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Rutgers University, New Brunswick. Shanna L. Workentine Meyer, Vice President for Student Affairs, Missouri Western State University. Sandra Olson Loy, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, University of Minnesota Morris. Jeffrey S. Putman, Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs, SUNY Downstate Health Sciences University. Elena M. Sandoval Lucero, Vice President, Boulder County Campus, Front Range Community College. Christine Schneikart Luby, Dean of Students, Senior Student Affairs Officer, Newman University. David Zamoyski, Assistant Dean of Students and Director of Residence Life, Boston University.
Wow, what a great class for this year's Pillars of the Profession. They join an extraordinary group of folks who have come before them, and we're proud of all of you, and congratulations. So this next award is the Outstanding Contribution to Higher Education. This award is presented to an individual or organization that has provided dedicated service, consistent advocacy, and outstanding leadership to the higher education community on the national or international level. The honoree will have made a meaningful and appreciable contribution to the issues and concerns affecting higher education. Please help me celebrate this year's winner, Inside Higher Education. You know, if you pause for a second, it's hard to imagine a time when we didn't have Inside Higher Education in our morning digest helping us understand the current issues affecting higher education. And to celebrate with us and to honor Inside Higher Ed are its founding editors, Scott Jaschik and Doug Lederman.
The Outstanding Contribution to Higher Education Award is presented to individuals or organizations that have made a meaningful and appreciable contribution to the issues and concerns affecting higher education. When considering the impact, reach, and longevity of Inside Higher Ed, meaningful and appreciable contribution is an understatement. In 2004, Scott Jaschik and Doug Lederman were two of the three founders of Inside Higher Ed, envisioned as a media company and online publication to provide news, opinions, and resources focused on college and university topics. Today, the platform reaches millions of readers every month. Together, Mr. Jaschik and Mr. Lederman lead the operations of Inside Higher Ed, directing strategy and overseeing news content, opinion pieces, career advice, blogs, and other features, and have grown Inside Higher Ed to be one of the most sought-out publications in the field. Inside Higher Ed has solidified its status as a leading voice in higher education, providing many resources to its readership featuring rich data combined with thoughtful, substantive analysis the field not only trusts but relies on. In partnership with Gallup, Inside Higher Ed surveys higher education leaders on a range of critical issues, sharing findings as a comprehensive snapshot of the state of the industry. Student affairs professionals who want to be connected to the evolving landscape of higher education turn to Inside Higher Ed. And thanks to the publication's unparalleled contribution, NASPA and student affairs are better informed, better connected, and empowered to drive evolution. Please join me in congratulating Inside Higher Ed, recipient of the 2020 Outstanding Contribution to Higher Education Award.
Congratulations, Scott and Doug. Well deserved. I must say that in this time of us grappling with the coronavirus on campuses, Inside Higher Education and the insights you have are more important than ever. Well, speaking of winners, you might notice I'm wearing the champion Washington Nationals gear here, still celebrating the World Series win by the Washington Nationals, and boy, do we need baseball right now. Well, let's move on to the next award, the President's Award. This special NASPA honor is presented to a college or university president or chancellor who has, over a sustained period, advanced the quality of student life on campus by supporting the institution's student affairs staff and initiatives. This year's recipient of the President's Award is Carol Quillen. Let's hear about her exceptional career as we celebrate this honor with Dr. Quillen.
Through insightful and innovative leadership, President Carol Quillen has elevated Davidson College to a pioneering example within higher education of transformational impact when an institution invests in a student-centered approach, beginning with a steadfast commitment to empowering the work of student affairs. President Quillen was instrumental in the evolution that moved Davidson away from traditional models in favor of a comprehensive approach with the student experience as paramount to keeping the institution thriving. President Quillen's ability to rise to emerging challenges while serving as a champion of student-centered design has significantly advanced student access and success during her tenure. As advocacy for students runs parallel to supporting student affairs, President Quillen has made a committed investment in Davidson student life staff, demonstrating savvy leadership in ensuring proper resourcing of student affairs initiatives. To see a vision for a new Student Resource Center realized, President Quillen worked tirelessly to identify donors, provide defense against critics, and support her student affairs team in navigating campus politics to get results. Her leadership was critical in the creation of Davidson's new Resource Center, providing food, clothing, textbooks, and other necessities to students in need. President Quillen's career is characterized by a demonstrated commitment to diversity at Davidson. She is a key supporter of the Student Initiative for Academic Diversity, a committee of students who participate in candidate interviews for senior-level positions at Davidson, highlighting questions about diversity and inclusion to potential new members of the faculty and staff. In her advocacy for undocumented students, President Quillen worked to secure funding to enable the Student Life Division to pay for students' legal fees and attorney consultations. In a 2017 statement expressing support for Dreamers, she stated, "Our nation benefits when all of our children have the opportunity to study, work, and live without fear." President Quillen is deeply committed to making Davidson accessible to all students under her leadership, The student population has become more diverse through partnerships with community organizations, support services for students from underserved populations, and millions of dollars to support scholarship programs raised during her tenure. President Quillen doesn't serve from behind her desk and is an approachable and a beloved presence on campus, affectionately referred to by her students as P. Quill. President Quillen is truly a student's president and has positioned Davidson for only greater success in the future by placing students at the center of the institution's values and the forefront of its strategy. Please join us in congratulating President Carol Quillen, honoree of the 2020 President's Award.
Congratulations, Dr. Quillen. Your work at Davidson has truly been remarkable. Now let's move to our next award, the Bobby E. Leach Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Award. Bobby E. Leach was the first person of color to serve as NASPA president, now known as board chair, and was also the first African-American administrator at Florida State University. Dr. Leach's life and career was dedicated to bringing people of different backgrounds together for the purpose of promoting equity for all. In 2017, the NASPA Board of Directors created the Bobby E. Leach Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Award to honor Dr. Leach and administrators who have demonstrated a deep commitment to advancing diversity and inclusion throughout their administrative or academic tenure. Please join me in celebrating this year's award winner, Melvin Terrell.
Throughout an exceptional career spanning more than 40 years, Melvin Terrell has consistently been at the forefront of efforts to champion equity, diversity, and inclusion in higher education. Dr. Terrell's commitment to advancing diversity and inclusion has made a lasting impact, not only at the institutions he has served, but also across the field of student affairs. Dr. Terrell's professional journey has held many roles in higher education: teacher, scholar, vice president, and mentor. Regardless of his position, Dr. Terrell has centered the access and success of underserved student populations. Through all aspects of his work, he has vigorously promoted the values of equity, diversity, and inclusion, both on campus and on a national level, through service to professional associations. Mentorship is a cornerstone of Dr. Terrell's legacy, having not only served as a mentor to generations of students, but as a founder and partner to many structured mentorship programs and opportunities focused on empowering higher education leaders of tomorrow and increasing representation at all levels. One shining example of this work was in Dr. Terrell's service as an early champion of the Minority Undergraduate Fellows Program, a mentorship program for students from traditionally underrepresented and historically disenfranchised populations. Dr. Terrell helped to realize the vision for this program during its inception in the 1990s as a consultant, went on to serve as national coordinator, and throughout his career has been a foundational supporter of the program and the students it serves. In 2017, Dr. Terrell took his impact to the next level with the creation of the Dr. Melvin C. Terrell Educational Foundation, powering grants, scholarships, and internships to help further the professional advancement of diverse student educators. Throughout his career in higher education, Dr. Terrell has been a champion for equity and diversity. He was the first Vice President for Student Affairs to appear on the June 28, 2018 cover of Diverse Issues in Higher Education magazine. Over 60 colleagues contributed to this project, a memoir of his career achievements. Wen Dungy, Executive Director Emeritus of NASPA, compares Dr. Terrell to Dr. Bobby E. Leach, for whom this award is named, saying, like Dr. Leach, Dr. Terrell is a visionary leader, compassionate mentor, and exceptionally talented role model. Through his vision, he brought the Undergraduate Fellows Program to life, diversifying the profession of student affairs. He saw what the program could be for NASPA, for the profession, and most of all, what it could be for students. Dr. Terrell's career shines as an exemplary beacon of passion for diversity, pioneering inclusive practice, and centering equity for all students at the heart of our work. His legacy will resonate in the enrichment of the professional and personal lives of students of color that he has touched, and through his undeniable impact on the values of and representation within the student affairs profession. Please join me in celebrating Dr. Melvin Cleveland Terrell, our 2020 Bobby E. Leach Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Award winner.
Good evening. I am honored to be here with my fellow award winners and such an outstanding group of professionals tonight. Thank you to the NASPA Board of Directors for selecting me for this award. Dr. Bobby E. Leach was a great man and a standard bearer for the African American executives in higher education. He served as Vice President for Student Affairs at Florida State University, an institution I am quite familiar with due to my active participation on the campus as a former American Council on Education Fellow. I learned about Dr. Leach's legacy and leadership while in Tallahassee. I am deeply honored and humbled to receive this prestigious award bearing his name. Since my retirement as Vice President for Student Affairs and Professor of Counselor Education at Northeastern Illinois University, I have remained busy. I established the Dr. Melvin C. Terrell Educational Foundation, Inc. 501(c). Since then, I have been working towards raising funds to support the educational and research efforts of minorities in higher education. As you may have learned from the video, mentorship greatly contributes to the success of my career. It has been such a privilege to devote my time and efforts to nurturing and supporting young professionals of color, our next generation of leaders in higher education. I have encouraged and continue to encourage many of them throughout their careers. While the COVID-19 pandemic presents a significant challenge to higher education, our institutions and institutional leaders are resilient, and they are doing innovative work in their efforts to salvage the remaining academic semester and year semester without severely disrupting the learning and development of our students. For this, they are all to be commended. Google CEO Sundar Pichai said, "A diverse mix of voices leads to better discussions, decisions, and outcomes for everyone." Thus, this global challenge that we are presented with gives us an opportunity to press reset and start afresh with the ways we handle persistent issues like inequality and social justice. I challenge each individual here to pay it forward. You did not make it where you are without help. I wholeheartedly believe that we must lift as we climb. If we do so, we can leave higher education and the world in a better place. Finally, I want to let you know that I will continue to be a champion for the key issues such as equity, diversity, and inclusion in higher education through the Dr. Melvin C. Terrell Foundation. I remain engaged in my efforts to serve as a beacon of light and guideposts to assist you as you navigate your course in higher education. Thank you for this award. Thank you for your time, and stay safe.
Congratulations, Mel. There's no question that your leadership in the NASPA Undergraduate Fellows Program has made this program the exceptional program that it is. So now on to our final award of this NASPA award ceremony, the Fred Turner Award for Outstanding Service to NASPA. This award is named for a past chair of the NASPA Board of Directors who served from 1958 to 1959 and who was the Vice President for Student Affairs at the University of Illinois, Fred Turner. But it honors a NASPA member who has served in leadership roles at the state, regional, national, or international levels, and who has at a minimum had 10 continuous years of NASPA membership. The Fred Turner Award is NASPA's equivalent of a Lifetime Achievement Award. Each recipient has brought honor and dignity to the student affairs profession and to NASPA as an association for a sustained period of time. Please join me in honoring my good friend, Pat Whiteley, with this year's Fred Turner Award.
Spanning nearly 4 decades, Pat Whiteley has been an active and engaged NASPA member for her entire career. Dr. Whiteley is the embodiment of service to the profession through service to the association, highly regarded among her community at the University of Miami as a champion for student affairs and among her NASPA colleagues, known as a shining example of dedicated and selfless service to the association. Dr. Whiteley has served as the Vice President for Student Affairs at the University of Miami since 1997, where she is a cornerstone of the campus community. In spite of the complex challenges of her cabinet position, Dr. Whiteley has never compromised on prioritizing personal engagement with students. Just ask the generation of University of Miami alumni who have attended Pancakes with Pat over the years. Enjoying pancakes, conversation, and encouragement, all served up late at night, compliments of Dr. Pat. She also led the efforts to building a brand new student center at the University of Miami named after President Donna Shalala, which has enhanced student engagement at the University of Miami for generations to come and will open new state-of-the-art housing in a few short months. In everything she does, Dr. Whiteley works tirelessly to make the higher education experience the most positive it can be for her students, as well as for the staff who support them. She is skilled at recognizing emerging talent within her team and creating opportunities to develop and support the career journeys of exceptional student affairs professionals into future leaders. Dr. Whiteley always encourages her staff to become involved with NASPA as an essential enhancement to a career well-traveled in student affairs, and is a consummate supporter of the NASPA Undergraduate Fellows Program on her campus. Dr. Whiteley has served as the NASPA Board Chair, as a member of the NASPA Foundation Board, as the current chair and founding member of the NASPA Serve Academy, as a faculty member and director for the Alice Manicure Symposium, and on the editorial board of the NASPA Journal. Dr. Whiteley is committed to supporting NASPA and its members and constantly seeks ways to serve those around her without ever compromising her service to her own campus community. Within the association, Dr. Whiteley is perhaps most known for her ability to create opportunities for others who have not yet had a chance to serve NASPA in a leadership capacity, exemplifying the NASPA guiding principle of inclusion, always making room at the table for new leaders. Through the Serve Academy, she has helped NASPA to operationalize this approach, creating a structure for aspiring NASPA leaders to find their path. Anna Gonzalez, VP of Student Affairs and Dean of Students at Harvey Mudd College, and Dr. Whiteley's longtime NASPA colleague, summarizes her contribution, saying that Pat inspires generation after generation of student affairs professionals to be servant leaders on our campuses, in our field, and in our association. There is no one more deserving of this award than Pat Whiteley. Please join us in honoring Dr. Pat Whiteley with the 2020 Fred Turner Award for Outstanding Service to NASPA.
Good evening. I'm truly humbled and honored to receive the 2020 Fred Turner Award from NASPA for outstanding contributions. While I certainly will miss being together, certainly we need it all to be on our campus as higher education dealt with the coronavirus, an incredible challenge that will be with us for months and potentially years to come. NASPA has been my professional home for over 30 years. The opportunity to serve as chair, work closely with Kevin Kruger, Stephanie Gordon, and the NASPA staff, the chance to chair the Alex Manicure Symposium, serve on the foundation board, work with the Serve Academy, all have been opportunities to make NASPA better and to make a difference in the upcoming generations of student affairs professionals. I have been privileged to work with great mentors. First, Father John Freund at St. John's University in New York, Cynthia Forrest and Frank Ardiola at South Carolina, Bill Butler, Donna Shalala, Louis Glazer, and Tad Foote at the University of Miami. I want to thank certainly my nominators, Anna Gonzalez and Daniel Kleiss. I am truly, truly overwhelmed and honored. And of course, my family, my mom, my husband, George, and my daughter, Megan, and my UM colleagues. I've worked at the University of Miami now for 38 years, and they've always supported my professional involvement in NASPA. 40 years ago, as an undergraduate at St. John's University, in April, in that spring, I decided to go into student affairs. It was a great decision. I continue to love serving students, serving staff, and making a difference in their lives as they journey through higher education. Thank you.
Ooh, we're back. Well, that was quite a video from Pat Whiteley. Congratulations, Pat. I have to say personally that Pat has been an inspiration to me as I've served as NASPA president, both personally and professionally. And I can think of no one else who is more deserving of this award. Well, that brings us to the end of the NASPA virtual award ceremony. I hope you've enjoyed the opportunity to hear from some of our legends in the field and the kinds of accomplishments people are making every day to support their campuses and their students. It's been quite an array of award winners. And I hope to see you next year live in Kansas City at the traditional NASPA Awards ceremony. Now, before I close, I would like to say that and acknowledge that we are certainly in one of the most challenging times we've ever faced in higher education. The coronavirus and the impacts on our students and our campuses have been profound. But I would say also that in this time, student affairs has never been more important than it is today. We will work together to support our students through this crisis and then the outside of the crisis. And I thank you for all the work you're going to be doing in that area and look forward to seeing you next year. Thanks again for being here tonight.